Looks like a rainy day today, Sunday afternoon. It's been raining all day. I think it's going to rain all weekend. Good day to do the brakes on the Camaro. Today we're going to do front pads and rotors. There's no intent for this to be an instructional video by any means. It's just me having fun with YouTube and playing with the GoPro and putting a little video up. Okay, let's get on the lift. Okay, I used my DeWalt impact. The air is becoming a thing of the past. This baby's a beaut. 7/8 impact. I do have new rotors. The rotors have deep ridges on them, so I'd have to bring these to be cut. And nowadays they just won't cut them. They'll say it's worn too much. They're consumable items now. Used to be we can cut them down in the old days. No more. So that's interesting. Got a splined shaft in here for a front-wheel drive car. These hubs are probably universal for a front-wheel drive car. Well, interesting. So rotor's got to go, and we're going to be taking off this rotor retainer screw. It's a T30 Torx bit. There's two pins here. 1, 2. I got to drive out. The only thing that secures these pins in the caliper is this little spring wrapped around on the tip of the pin itself. It secures into the caliper. So now I'm just pushing the pistons back on the caliper, just kind of wedging the screwdriver in there, and they're moving pretty easy. So I'll get some space in there and pull the pads. Whoa, there was a spring that just popped out there. Got to pay attention for that. It just bounced off the camera. Guess it went in this way. There's a lot of pad surface area here compared to regular cars. And see if you can see on that edge, it's getting pretty close to that squeaker. Actually, it was hitting that squeaker. So next is the caliper bolts, top and bottom. Use a breaker bar. A little more leverage. There we go. Switch back to the ratchet. I'll just use a bungee cord to loop it around the caliper and hang it from the strut or the spring. It's fairly common practice. I'll clean up that caliper later, just basically get the dust off it and push the pistons back. But first, we're ready to take the rotor off. So we got to remove this T30 Torx bolt, which basically just holds the rotor in place. Okay, looks like her on a 1/4-inch drive. See the ridge here. Okay, you got CarQuest Platinum painted rotors. I think I got this, got these online. It took a little while to get, but it was, I forget what I paid. I'll try to find out what the cost of that is and put it in the description. Got this oil on here. I had to get all that off of there. But the center is all painted here, which is nice. That appears to be the correct rotor. Okay, new rotor. New rotor is 355 thousandths. A little bit difficult to do this because I got the ridge here. And I got to read that without taking it off because I can't pull it off because of the side there. So 0.322. One rotor came in a plastic bag and had some oil on it. It doesn't seem to come off right away, that's for sure. The other one, same outer box, but it was not in a bag and had none of this oil stain on it. And that's not coming off. I can feel it's slimy, so it's not just like a surface rust in there. Let's see what a little brake clean does to that. Yeah, it did a lot better, so anyway. The other one, like I said, there was no plastic bag on this. It's funny, a painted rotor. It's painted on the outside, but not on the inside. Okay, we'll line up the torque screw right here. I'll put a little anti-seize on this for the next person because I probably won't have the car that long. I use the Permatex anti-seize. Works pretty well. I'll put some anti-seize on the hub itself. Helps the rotor come off easier next time. Also put some up on the lugs. Not too much, otherwise it'll just get hot and sling on the friction surface. We don't want that. That's a little better. I feel a little better about that. Make it easier for the next guy. I just snug that down. All right. I'll clean it one more time with some brake cleaner and a fresh rag to make sure I didn't touch any area I'm not supposed to. The good stuff.
back side of that too. Crushed my finger between the rotor and the rear splash guard there, so pay attention when I'm doing a little bit better. Okay, just make sure I get any excess here. Once it heats up and starts to spin around, we don't want any of that slinging onto our friction surface, the rotor or the pads themselves. It's a little dirty than I thought. I wish I did this more when I was younger, but I didn't seem to care. It's nothing hurts you when you're young, right? But you don't want to be breathing this stuff. Just being careful around the rubber boots. This is a soft bristle brush. It's not a wire brush. Garage door. Some of that dust out of here. Yeah, I thought I was going to have to get a C-clamp, pull these pistons back, but put a clamp here, or put an old pad here, or a piece of bar of any kind, and squeeze right here to get these pistons back. But I was able to just push them back with my hands. I'm surprised they weren't that easy, but they will move. And that seems to be back there already. I'm gonna put a little Loctite on these 2 bolts for the caliper mount. Just a JB Weld brand. Clean these up on the grinder. Right.
Just knocking away some of the surface rust here so it doesn't get on my new pads and rotor.
Wow, big caliper, but very light. I'm used to the cast iron calipers, and this caliper weighs like nothing. Right in there. There we go. Speed the process up a little bit here. You know, I got the room to use it, might as well. Just to loosen them up a little bit. I'm just curious what kind of play is in there. Not much, so I'm not too concerned. I wanted to make sure I wasn't tightening it down in a spot where it wasn't correct, but there's really no play in there, so I think I could just bring them down. There is a torque value there. I'll look it up and get it torqued. I don't have the manual. That 44 foot-pounds, then 90-degree turn, torque to yield, they call it. So I'm going old school with the Loctite on there. It should be fine. and I'm just tightening them up to what I feel my experience over the years has told me. Good and tight. It's crazy what's on the internet. I've seen 160 foot-pounds. I've seen 44 foot-pounds. I've seen 74 foot-pounds. I think the right way to do it is get the manual that belongs to the car and take it from there. Something to that effect. And then I'll get a little bit of grease here and here. And they do they catch a little bit. So I'm going to hit that with the grinder real quick. Clean that up just a touch. So I save the grease from all these brake jobs because they give you a whole packet of it and you just can't even, if you put all that grease on there, you'd have some troubles. So I'm not going to use the new pack. Guess I'll have grease for a few hundred years. Keeping all these packs, I think one pack would last me, geez, I don't know, 30 brake jobs. I don't put any more than I need to because I will periodically pull these and re-grease them. That's the only way you're going to get any life out of brakes. You got to clean them up so they slide. As soon as they start hanging up and one brake wears sooner than the other, it's because they're hanging up. They rust, they corrode, they get hot. So you take them out, you clean them, and you keep them sliding, and you get a lot longer brake job out of it, and then you won't wear your rotors prematurely and everything else. That's my opinion. Here I'm probably going to have to get those calipers back a little bit. Maybe not. Okay. There's the pads, and then I got the pins. So just enough to kind of keep it wet. Because in here it's not doing any good. Might even wipe it off. Pins are in. They had like a little retention collar on the back end of it, but I guess that's all that it takes. Kind of would like something a little more positive to know they're not going to come flying out on me. They definitely went till they bottomed. So they're in there. And that's it. New rotor. Got our torque screw in there. Pads are a little loose right now. So when I press the brakes slowly, they'll expand right back out there. The rubber boots all look good. The pins are back in, here and here. Caliper bolts are tight. And quick inspection, everything looks good in here, so that's it. One side is done. Okay, I'm not going to go crazy with this. These I'll torque, and I'll get a torque on them. I'll torque it once it's down. And there you go. One side. It's not going to squeak anymore. Let's get to the other side. So this side I'm going to roll through a lot quicker than the other side, because I think we'd already seen what had to be done. As I'm doing this, I just realized I forgot to put the springs in. I did not put the springs this spring plate back in the pads on the other side. So back around I go. Let's see the spring. Okay, now I got to get these pistons all the way back. I have a light here. There we go. So I can just press on this old rotor that's coming out as evenly as I can and be able to get these pistons back flush back into the housings so I can put the new pads in. This one's a bit tighter. When it starts to harden up, I saw a trick on YouTube, I believe. It starts to harden up. You know, there's a lot of anti-seize here. If you don't use, add WD-40 and then mix it back up, and you're gonna get another. That's difficult or not. Got a new spring. So pads in you go. Maybe get all the greasing done prior to assembly. So we're gonna get this guy in here. This is a fluid film. You see some rusty bolts here.
Fluid film is linoleum based. It's not solvent based. It's kind of like a waxy substance. It sticks to the metal really great and excellent anti-corrosion. Best stuff I've used yet. Now I'll fix my mistake on this side by forgetting to put the spring back in. The spring takes up the play in the pads from rattling around. So this won't take too long.
Okay, 140 foot-pounds.
Okay, that'll do it. Front brakes done. Next month or so, we'll do the rear brakes. Thanks for watching.